2 minutes? Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is the Business Operations and Finance Committee meeting. It is September 2nd, 5 p.m. I now call this meeting to order. Michelle, could I have a vote or a roll call, please?
Yes. Brian Nichols,
Here.
Amy Levy,
Too many mics on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
here, and Tom Hankins.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you. Our first point of action is to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been approved or motioned and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any nays? Next agenda item is the approval of the minutes of August 19th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions?
I abstain. I wasn't able to attend that meeting because it started at 4.
Thank you, Mrs. Levy. Our next item is something we have just installed over the summer.
July 1st meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our next order of business is the approval of the minutes of July 1st.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any abstentions? Any nays? So approved. The next order of business is the public comment. 3 minutes per person. And Michelle, do we have anyone for public comment today?
I do. I have Matt in the room.
Thank you, Matt. Just get up and state your name and go from there.
Matt Finnegan, 2212 Noview Drive in Beloit. I just wanted to speak a little bit about McNeil School and some things we're trying to do out in the community. Myself and some other philanthropists and a 501c3 are looking at trying to do something with that property. And so this is our first stab at it, what's in front of you. It's pretty small. The one on my wall is a lot bigger, but the bottom line on it is what we keep running up into is a timing thing having to do with the furniture and fixtures in the property, that there's a contract out there with Beloit Auction that keeps coming up, and to do something like this is going to take a significant amount of time to try to put together an offer that with the contingencies of getting zoning changes and those kind of things. And so, but regardless of that, the furniture and fixtures in that building would be an important thing to remain. And so, or I'm hoping that maybe you guys would consider, I don't know how how you can do with that contract. I mean, I do know a lot of the particulars. I mean, it's a small community. Everybody knows everything, and so the bottom line on it is I realize that there's a monetary loss that could happen if the contract doesn't happen, but to remove the doors and the wood floors and all that kind of thing would deteriorate the value of this property significantly. I don't think just for something that we would like to do, but anybody would like to do. Because I mean, what the school district would gain in maybe $50,000-$60,000 or something like that, anybody took that building, it would be hundreds of thousands to put back what would be taken out. So I guess all I'm saying is I'm hoping there's some way we can quit bumping up against that timeline. I'd give you the name of the 501c3, but our board still has to vote on it, and that's not going to happen until later in this month, about the middle of the month. And I don't want to undermine that situation. And so I guess the bottom line here is I'm hoping there's some way to consider that. I mean, this does have a possibility. A tiny home community is something this community is looking for. It would be a hand up type organization, the type of place that it wouldn't be a handout. There'd be rent charged and things like that. But the school district building would be something to have supporting services for people that are maybe chronically homeless, other people that veterans, which is kind of sometimes those things go together, and the ability to serve meals, those kind of things would be very important to that. I mean, if it got stripped of all those things, it probably would kill the whole idea, because just the cost, it would drive the cost through the roof. I don't think there's been a lot of tours of it. I mean, one of the reasons, the price is really high. And having bought a school before, I'm kind of familiar with how those things work. And the one I bought is now going to be it looks like going to be a great addition to our community. And so I think that something similar to that, a holistic approach to helping people is the way to do it. And this is our first stab at it. Batterman's and us, we got together on this, and myself and one other person, but I've kind of shown it around, and it's gaining a little bit of momentum. So
Thank you, Matt. We're up against the time. Talk about time frames, our 3 minute. I
Gotcha.
really appreciate presenting something that may be a possibility.
No, just kidding. I was messing with her. So I got to get her 3 minutes, but.
Was she yielding? I don't think that's. But
All
anyways,
right.
I appreciate it, Matt. I think there's not lots, but there are some opportunities out there that we need to reconsider for that building space. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Is that all of that, Michelle?
Yes, that's the only one I had.
Thank you. Our next up is the monthly financials. Mrs. Elwood.
Good evening, and thank you, board members. Tonight, I have the financials for the month ending in July. The July financials are very different from our year end of June. There's not a whole lot of activity that happens in the month of July, so we'll be very brief. The first part I have here for you is a summary of the revenues and expenditures that happened for the month. There's not a whole lot of revenues because most of the revenues that actually physically come in the month of July actually go back and get posted to 24-25 in June. The expenditures are normal for the month of June or July. There is not a whole lot of salaries and bennies that happen in July because a lot of the teachers' salaries and administrator salaries that don't work in the summer, those also get posted back to the previous school year. Did anybody have any questions about the revenues and expenditures? Our cash and investment report, our investments have been doing very well. We did have a little over $47,000 that got posted for our PMA investment that we had in July, and our interest rates have been holding steadily just around 4%. The next couple of reports were attached in with the monthly financials, the monthly purchasing commitments, the purchase orders. All the purchase orders that were listed on the report were either below the $25,000 threshold or were previously approved by the school board. And then new on the report linked in is the accounts payable check listing. And this list is a list of every payment that happens, including payroll payables, all those types of things, P-card transactions. Were there any questions on anything that was listed in here? I'll go back to my, hearing none, I'll keep moving on. Revenues, I did just want to highlight a couple of things. I did already talk about the interest being higher for the month of July because we had that investment that matured. And then we also, let's see here. We also had a sale back of the MacBooks that the staff had. We received part of the payment for that sale, the $75,000 in the month of July, and we should have the rest of the payments, I think, we got them in August. And then in expenditures, like I mentioned, the expenditures are pretty light in July because a lot of the teacher salaries and administrators that work in the summer, those salaries get posted back to the month of June. So the salaries were only, let's see here, 37% of the total expenditures in July. A lot of the expenditures in July are purchase services, things that happen at the beginning of the year for payment for the whole entire year, like our software purchases. Let's see, is there anything else? And other than that, then the last report on here is the fund balance report. Pretty typical of the month ending July. There's nothing that is outstanding, except for, I did want to mention, we do still have the referendum debt dollars that we taxed for 2 years ago that we need to make those payments sometime within the next couple of years so that we don't run into an arbitrage issue. So we'll be bringing that back to the board probably in a couple of months.
Could you please explain that issue?
Yep. So a couple of years ago, the balance of the referendum debt that was due was taxed for, and we have it in basically in a savings account to pay off that debt when we are ready to pay off that debt.
What is referendum debt?
Referendum debt is debt that we go to the taxpayers and say, you have to vote for us to take out this debt to do a building project or construction, those types of things.
But the debt was spent on what?
That referendum debt, I'd have to look up to see what that
But
one
I mean,
was
just
for.
what, like debt that we incurred, like advertising and stuff like that for it? Referendum debt, I don't understand. I understand, we incur some,
Yep, we went to referendum,
correct?
a vote, and the taxpayers voted for us to borrow money, so that's borrowed money, and then now we're paying back that debt. And right now, we have all the money in the savings account to pay down that debt.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And that was the last item on my list. Did anybody have any questions regarding the monthly financials?
I just have one, going back to Finance 101,
Yes.
OPEB. And I remember, here's my remembrance, was last fall when we got into OPEB dollars, and they were in 2 separate accounts. And together they totaled 4.8 million, I think. Are they still in 2 separate accounts? And sometimes they get lost where OPEB dollars were shown, I think, as a plus and a minus in some categories. Could you, in balancing the dollars, OPEB funds should be an asset to me, but sometimes they're an expense looking through this. Does that make no sense to you?
No, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at you.
No, I know.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
I know.
Yep, the OPEB dollars are an asset. Yes, that is correct.
And they still are in two separate accounts?
They are in two separate bank accounts, correct? If you look on the slide here.
Right.
I have listed where the amounts are for First Mid Bank and Trust and the Associated Bank investment.
But when we moved as the board and granted Dr. Garrison the money to spend X amount of dollars, 2.25, and he didn't use those, they just all remained in the same place, right?
Correct. We did not move any of the dollars out of
One
Fund
to the
73
other.
into Fund 10 because we did not need to do that to cover the expenses.
As a financial person, does it make any sense to move them both together? Or is that out of your realm?
Oh, to move out of each bank
Both-
account?
Correct. And have one OPEB bank account?
Well, right now, the investments that we have at Associated Bank, they're doing very well. So I'd like to leave those there as long as we can because we are getting a nice interest rate on those. If you notice on here, just in 1 month alone, we're getting, 4.19% interest. The First Mid portion of it, my understanding is that they had it split because they were using the First Mid portion of it for the bills that were due every month, but there's no longer any bills due anymore out of here. So you're right, we could look at consolidating it into one bank account. We just haven't done that because we don't know whether or not we're going to pull those funds out at, in a year. So we want to keep those at least a little bit liquid.
And I totally agree with you, because I don't know those things either. Moving money and then taking it right away would not be probably a good thing.
And the interest rates we have on these accounts is
Right.
fairly, it's fairly similar to the other
Right.
investments that we have, so there's really no need to keep moving the money around.
Well, as kind of a novice, I think putting all together the monies into the better return bank account makes more sense. Rather than have one in a lesser yielding account than the other one is doing better. And I'm not a finance guy, I'm just asking. And I know that we talked about this last fall with Mr. Cady. I know it just never happened about putting them both together. And at that time, we were wondering about OPEB dollars and how we could use those and what were the repercussions of using those dollars. So I know this was all in that conversation, and I'm not trying to pin you to the wall at all. I'm just wondering,
No, and that's one of those conversations that we'll have to have, whether or not we're going to move those dollars strategically back into Fund 10, maybe over the next 4 or 5 years. Because right now, what we're doing is we're holding it as like a
savings
a
account.
safety net.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about moving those, strategically back. But at some point, because we're no longer using Fund 73, we should probably talk about doing that.
Very good. You and I will get together and get with a banker who knows better than you and I. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question.
I'm sorry. Mr. Nichols?
To further talk about OPEB, let me see if I can clarify this for my own, and maybe it'll help anybody else, I don't know. So the First Mid Bank and Trust that's just a fixed interest rate, isn't it? Kind of based on Federal Reserve?
Correct, yes.
Yes. But the Associated Bank is invested in different investments, is it not?
Correct. There's a investment advisor that goes through the account and moves the funds around to have it invested at the best
Right.
rates. And to be honest, we meet once a month, and some of the information is a little up here, but he's been doing very well.
Right.
It is an investment there where if we wanted to access that money, it is a little more complicated to get it out. It's a couple of months of paperwork, so it's less liquid than the First Mid piece.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
I did want to mention too, we are doing investments through PMA, and those are, depending on what kind of investments we do, that was the 47,000, that we got for July. So if we do investments with them, those are for, 30, 60, 90 days out. But currently, right now, we're just putting it into their fixed rate investment account. So we could look at moving some of those OPEB dollars over there too, but, it's just a matter of taking the time to look at all the different factors.
Thank you, Dr. Garrison. So in what's going on currently right now with OPEB dollars and the use of, we should probably leave them where they are so the one is more liquid than the other?
Yes, we just leave them where they are currently. Again, the board did ask me to, if we could, not to use those funds, and we did the thing so that not to happen. And so, one could argue that extra $2 million or so we found in a different place to kind of let OPEB stay kind of where it's at right now. So eventually we will have to have a deeper discussion, as Mrs. Elwood mentioned, in reference to do we want to, move that over, how we want to space it out, and so right now it's just kind of sitting there, kind of gaining some interest. And so we will figure out a good time to bring that back to the committee, and then of course to the full board as it pertains to what we want to do with that on a long-term conversation.
Thank you very much. Next action item is contracted services purchases approval. Final site,
Mr. Hankins?
I'm sorry.
We just need to approve the financials.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We need to approve removal of the financials for,
So moved.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried. Next, action item, contract services purchase approval, final site. Ms. Elwood or Dr. Garrison? I'm sorry.
Yep. So
I
last.
haven't gone there yet.
Oh, no problem. So at the last board meeting, one of the things that was not attached to this conversation was the invoice that was asked to be placed on this conversation per a board member, and so we brought that back. Some additional information as pertains to, we say final site, Blackboard is going to eventually switch over to final site. It is our primary web pages opportunity here in the school district where everything is pretty much stored. We currently have over 3,500 web pages in general that Blackboard kind of operates for us. It's the website for the schools. It's the website for pretty much each department. Website for programs and websites for superintendent, Board of Education. It's our opportunities when we have our podcasts where we store a lot of that information at as well. Anytime when we have those bad things called inclement weather days of school closing, we have to work through Blackboard in order to do that as well. And we all know that the joke is, again, if the sun is up or not, we're coming to school. But school closings and inclement weather days, all that stuff is funneled through the Blackboard site, if you want to say. Emails, text, voice, anything that goes out to and mass communications all comes through the Blackboard opportunity. We also have alerts that you can see when you log on to our page. That's a Blackboard opportunity as well as the School District of Beloit app that we currently have. And so there's a lot of different things that Blackboard does for us. It is our primary way to communicate. It also communicates very well with Skyward as well. So just to give you some more background information as pertains to Blackboard. I didn't know how much the board knew or didn't know as it pertains to Blackboard, but it is the one thing that we have used here in the district for many years, as I understand it, not just the past 2 years since I've been here. So just food for thought as it pertains to what Blackboard actually does for us.
Thank you, Dr. Garrison. Any questions? Right.
Just a minor thing, just a little housekeeping. I think we need to let Final Site know that they can send it to somebody else other than Monica Kristapa. Just a little housekeeping. Other than that, it looks good to me.
Something I've learned and I just want to share. Skyward works with Blackboard, or Skyward works under Blackboard. And but in my talk with you, Dr. Garrison, this is a year contract, no matter what happens. Is that a correct statement?
As I understand this is a year contract.
Okay. Very good. Do we need a motion to accept this? We do. To approve it?
Second?
All those in favor say aye. Wait a minute, let's go back. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know when
think he
anybody
was-
firsted it.
Asking for a motion, are you?
Yes. No, my bad.
No problem. I'll do that now. Move approval. I'm on the wrong screen. Move approval for the contracted purchase to final site as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried. Thank you very much. Okay, now we'll go to, the next item is the next meeting date, which I believe. October 7th. Right around the corner. Any conversation about that? That'll be a 5 o'clock meeting, correct? Yep. Okay. Do we need to move on that or just accept it? Just, okay. Next motion is for adjournment. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Is everybody able to get into their Google Meetings or their Google Meets? Okay.
Makes you agree to like sign your life away to the internet.
Good evening. It is 6:01. I am calling to order the regular board meeting of Tuesday, September 2nd. Mrs. Schopp, may we get a roll call, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Juan Romero,
Here.
Joanne Rue,
Here.
Megan Miller,
Present.
Brian Nichols,
Here.
Tom Hankins,
Here.
Amy Levy,
Here.
and Tia Johnson.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you. May I get an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Brian Nichols, seconded by Joanne Rue. Any discussion? Mrs. Levy?
Thank you. Quick question. So on August 11th, Board Vice Chair Nichols made the motion to postpone the August 11th Employee Recs Exhibit A until today, and that document does not appear on this agenda. I'm just wondering why.
Dr. Garrison or Mrs. Schopp, are either you familiar with the August 11th agenda recs?
Ms. Levy, are you referencing the agenda that had the Dean of Students positions on it?
I am.
The previous, I think in our last meeting, the Dean of Students were approved, correct? If I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure.
It's my understanding that we approved to cap the salary. But on August 11th, Board Vice President Nichols made the motion to postpone those employee recs to today. And there's an individual that was on those employee recs does not appear today. So I'm just wondering why that is.
Mrs. Levy, I do understand your question. As it stands, the only thing I could say is it was oversight on the administration's part. However, some of the exhibits were approved in previous board meetings as well. So that's kind of where I'm stuck at right now.
Okay, so just two things, and then I'll yield the floor. One, it wasn't approved because it was postponed until today, and we are not looking at that employee recommendation, which we should be doing today. And two, my larger concern is that when the board makes motions, we need to follow up on those. Just like the one for Fresh Start, the motion was for that to come back to the board, and it didn't. It went to a committee. And I only say that to say this: if there is a way that we can do a better job of tracking motions by the board so we can make sure those motions are honored, I would really appreciate that. It was August 11th, and again, Board Vice Chair Nichols made the motion to postpone Employee Recommendations Exhibit A until Tuesday, September 2nd. And so for this agenda, we just have the employee recommendations for 9-2, but we don't have the employee recommendation from 8-11. Thank you.
Mr. Nichols. I'm sorry, Mr. Hankins. I'm staring right at
Dang.
you. Mr. Hankins.
My recollection is that was pulled off, and I believe, well, I know that Mrs. Levy is correct, but it was in the description of the deanship that was in question, and she is absolutely correct in my recollection that it was coming back. And then we went into the salary negotiation part, and I just want to echo, I think, what she is saying, that it's not, it should have been brought back today. Thank you. As is the other one she mentioned. And I do heartily agree with her that when we say we're going to bring it back, we need to bring it back. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a motion by Brian Nichols, a seconded by Joanne Rue. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 6-1. Next up, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, we have the honor of having Major Eldert lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Major Eldert has been teaching JR, OTC, and leadership skills in the School District of Beloit since 2009, and correct me if I'm wrong, Major. Thank you for your service to our nation and for your dedication to our students. Please rise.
And I just say, I've been at this a little while, not only here, but I taught somewhere else too, but I appreciate this board and all the previous boards' support. This is 106 years straight for us here at the high school, so thank you very much, and hopefully we get your continued support. So, thanks.
Thank you, Major, and we will set up a day for you to bring the students as well.
They're coming next.
Thank you. Next, we have the Board President report. As we launch into the 25-26 school year, the energy across the school district of Beloit is unmistakable. Our staff have been hard at work preparing for a strong start, and we are thrilled to welcome both returning and new members of our team. Today marked the soft start of the school year as we welcomed our students in 4K, kindergarten, 6th, and 9th grades. Tomorrow, we look forward to having all students back in classrooms ready to learn and grow together. Last week, Wednesday, we held our annual convocation, which brought faculty and staff together to kick off the school year. Our theme this year is Moving Together, a reflection of our commitment to unity, collaboration, and shared progress. In my address during convocation, I introduced a new way to frame the district goals currently under development. While last year's goals aligned with central office departments, this year's goals also align around the ABCs of education: academics, behavior, and culture. The governance committee has been actively drafting the 25-26 goals, and we will be meeting with Dr. Garrison and Cabinet in coming weeks to finalize key action steps. Our goal is to present a preliminary version of the goals to the Board of Education at the October 7th meeting, with a final adoption slated for October 21st. In our ongoing efforts to support board development, we held a Friday noon webinar on August 22nd featuring 2 videos from the WASB School Finance 101 series. We will continue the next portion of this series during our session on Friday, September 5th. At the next regular board meeting, we will begin our board meeting evaluations. At the end of each regular board meeting, the board members will be able to fill out a pulse check survey. Finally, I want to extend a sincere appreciation to the many staff members who volunteered and dedicated their time over the summer to support the district's hiring process. Staff involvement in interview teams is a valuable part of our collaborative culture, ensuring each building has a voice in selecting new team members. While the final hiring recommendations are made by the superintendent and formal approval rests with the Board of Education, staff participation strengthens our decision-making process. For those interested, our hiring policies and practices can be found in the 500 series of the board policies and in the employee handbook. Thank you for your continued dedication and partnership as we begin this new school year, moving together. This concludes my president's report to the board. Next up, we have announcements and events. Board Clerk Romero.
Thank you. Good evening. These are the announcements for Tuesday, September 2nd. School's open today for our 4K, kindergarten, 6th, and 9th grade students. Tomorrow, all students should report to school for the beginning of the great school year. Check out our website at beloitschools.net for your students' calendar of events this year. Sports at BMHS have already kicked off, and the high school's picture day is Tuesday, September 16th. Hispanic Heritage Month celebration is coming on September 27th, so mark your calendars and save the date for more information will be coming. Our future board meeting dates include tomorrow, Wednesday, September 3rd, Policy and Human Resources Committee beginning at 4 p.m., followed by a special board meeting at 5 p.m., or as soon as the Policy and HR Committee meeting concludes. Tuesday, September 16th, the Teaching, Learning, Equity, and Pupil Service Committee meets at 5 p.m., followed by the regular board meeting at 6 p.m. Watch board docs and the district website calendar for a special board meeting next week. The time is yet to be determined. So this concludes the announcements for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. And I would just like to add one little another event for board members. If you are interested, on Tuesday, September 23rd, WASB Region 13 meeting is being held in Burlington. And if you want to register, you may do so at wasb.org or have Mrs. Shope get you registered if you would like to attend. Thank you. Next, we have the recognition of Lexi Tintelman and the core members of the Community Action, including Sugi, Andrew, Jennifer, Miranda, who worked with the school district employees to collaborate on the 3rd annual Community Health Fair at Beloit Memorial High School. The district appreciates community partners who give back to not only community, but not only the community at large, but also our students and families directly. Dr. Garrison?
Yes, and so one of the things that we had to do is on the proclamation that we shared last week, Lexi's name was there, and I wanted to make sure that we gave some special shout out to the work that she did alongside of us and making sure that our community health fair went off very, very well. I'm so happy to know that Community Action and the many partners work with us in this space. I thought it'd be very important to bring you into the conversation because, again, after we had someone who had to step away, you stepped up. And so, again, thank you so much for all of the work that you did to help us get the Community Health Fair off to a wonderful start, again, this year being our 3rd year. I will say we probably had hundreds of students, and I should say students, community members, parents, all come through our opportunity this a few Saturdays ago. It was a wonderful event. I do believe that when you have community coming together as such, and this being our 3rd annual space and doing so, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. We had over 1,000+ book bags donated, and over 700+ probably went away. And so it was just one of those spaces in which, we've started small and then it got bigger and again bigger and bigger. And so I just want to say thank you so much for you and the Community Action, of course, partnering with us, but to your leadership as well. I think it should be noted. If you would like, I do have a certificate that has your name on it and some thank yous to it. I want to hand that to you. And if you like, you can share some words about the experience. Sure.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here. It is my honor. A lot of our committee members are very busy, so they do apologize for not making it. But on behalf of the incredible committee that I did get to work with over the summer, we are very, very grateful to have organized the 3rd annual Back to School Community Health Fair and are truly honored to be recognized. So this event is a labor of love, and we are proud that this year we did serve over, Dr. Garrison is right, just about over 700 community children, not just from Beloit. We did do an additional intake this year, so on our registration form, we wanted to see what we can do for collaborative efforts in the future. So we added an additional question, and we did find from statistics that this year, not only Beloit, but also Turner, Janesville, South Beloit, Delavan, and Darien school districts attended this year. So hoping that collaborative efforts, as we continue to grow, we can showcase that we are growing not only within Beloit, but other school districts, and that children and family are in need not only in our district, but others as well. And it's inspiring to see how far we've reached, and not only in our community, but others. In just 3 years, we've expanded into a one-stop shop resource from back to school readiness. In this year alone, we stuffed over 1,000 backpacks with school supplies. We offered free food, free immunizations, free vision screenings, free dental assessments, community resource booths. We also had games, activities, and live performances from various different community members. So it's been amazing to see families come together, kids smiling, and the community in one place. Thank you for this recognition, and we are greatly proud of what we've built and even more excited of what's ahead. We are very thankful for Samuel and what he started, and we're really happy to continue his legacy. So thank you.
just one more thing. We also had some haircuts in there as well. Yeah, yep, some haircuts. So some of our students will be real sharp tomorrow coming to school. So thank you so much for arranging that too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lexi. Next, we have public comment. Mrs. Schultz, do we have any public comments present or online?
I do have one email. Sorry, my computer's being slow.
Oh, okay, whenever you're ready.
It was up, but it's resetting now. Okay, this email is from Tiffany. She says, hello, me again. I saw the news article saying the public shouldn't be concerned that we don't have a principal yet. Myself and 138 others disagree. Please see attached. I have full accountability for creating this petition and apologize for not having it board approved prior. The fact that you trust Mrs. Papke to run this building as a principal for a year but won't actually hire her for the position after multiple others have accepted and resigned is mind-blowing and at some points abuse in my eyes. You are completely taking advantage a willing and able and qualified person for whatever reason and pushing away the one person who actually wants to do this job. Along with that, you are pushing away other staff and families. Please reconsider your decision one last time. I mean, do you really have people pounding down the door to work for our district? With all due respect, please make it make sense. One other question, can you please tell me what the plan is when she finally gives up after being rejected so many times and walks away too? What will happen at Robinson if this happens? The families at Robinson are extremely concerned. Please don't tell us that we shouldn't worry, especially in this day and age. Would you rather lose 70 staff who agree and are fighting the same fight, or just the few who don't like her? Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Mrs. Schultz. Our first report to the board tonight, the superintendent, Dr. Garrison.
Yes, so as Mrs. Johnson mentioned, today was our soft start day where we welcome back a lot of our students to the school district of Beloit, 4K, 5K, I always say 5K, 4K kindergarten, 6th and 9th grade. It was a wonderful opportunity for our students to kind of ease their way back into the school district. I was able to visit all of our schools today, and each building was actually very well prepared for our soft start. I would like to say again, thank you to all the staff who have helped throughout today. And although some of the staff necessarily didn't have kids, they were definitely involved in our students who were back today. As a small example, over at Hackett Elementary School, a lot of the teachers went into the community to hand deliver some opportunities for our students that weren't able to come during our open house night on Wednesday. So that's just a small example. Also over at BLA, a similar example where they were able to kind of get out into the community and hand deliver some opportunities for some of our students that will be returning back to BLA. Overall, I believe that this day was well put together for our students to better prepare them for their launch with everyone tomorrow, September the 3rd. And so as my joke was a couple of weeks ago, please feel free to nudge the kids into the bed a little earlier and so that they can have a lot of interest for tomorrow. It sounds easy, right? But I have a daughter as well, and I had to nudge her into the bed earlier as well. And so we actually started about 2 weeks ago. So I feel pretty good about my parenting right now, as a joke, right? And so one of the things that I would like to say is as parents are welcoming, as students are being dropped off, we know that that's a heightened sense of, a space for a lot of our parents. And so as we're dropping off our kids, we are definitely going to be patient. We want all our kids to come in feeling great and safe as they transition into the school buildings. And so typically what we would like to do is during this time, make sure all of our parents know that, hey, we know that they've been with you all summer, no matter what grade they're in, we know that transition is a hard space for a lot of us, and so we want to be patient with each other tomorrow as all of our buses will be dropping off kids, as all of our kids will be coming into the buildings, and again, a lot of cars moving, and so, again, just be patient, be safe, of course, and of course, be early. And I say that very kindly when I say be early. We definitely want to start on time, naturally. That's one of the things that we are really looking forward to this year as it pertains to our attendance conversations. Another big conversation I would like to have is just to remind people that over these next 2 weeks, there's going to be some busing thoughts and some busing changes and some routes looked at. As your students is being dropped off, if you feel like there's something that's missing, please feel free to download our app that we currently have. I forget the name of the app every once in a while. It's called the Follow. That's an app that we have where you can, the Durham app, where you can actually see where the bus is at for your child. I think it's a great app that you can actually kind of follow and see kind of where your kid is. Yes, tomorrow there's going to be some drop-offs, and people, like, I'm expecting them to be at the space at a certain time. And so please be patient, because again, it's everyone's first drop-off, right? As well as first pickup. So as we kind of work through that, we will be working very closely with the bus. Thank you, the Durham bus app, as it was flashed on the screen there. We really want everyone to be patient with that conversation. So if the bus arrives just a little bit late in the morning, please note that it's coming naturally. And if the bus arrives just a little bit late in the afternoon for drop off, please know they're coming. So please be there to pick up your kids. Naturally, there's a process just in case that doesn't happen. Finally, I want to just make sure that the school district recognizes that this is a very important year for our school district. We want all of our students to have a wonderful school year. Wonderful school year, and that takes all of us working together in order for that to happen. That's teachers, that's administrators, that's community members, that's the board, that's all of us, that's me, that's everyone working together to make sure that this happens for our students. And I would like to say I'm very happy to, kick this year off with the school board, of course, with the families. Naturally, this is always in the opening day kind of speech, and I don't want to leave that off the table, that we really look forward to having a great year this year, as every year, that you really want to have a great year in this space. And so that's my superintendent's report, just keeping it light, but also keeping it steady in the thought. So again, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing everyone back tomorrow, September 3rd, for our welcome back to school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Garrison. Next, we have Policy and HR Committee, Chair Nichols.
Thank you, Board President Johnson. We had a great meeting Thursday, May 28th at 4, and we went two of the policies and HR items that we have are on the consent agenda tonight, or consent agenda, separate items on the agenda tonight, excuse me. Exhibit A for HR and the addendum matrix. And the discussion was good, and we took our time, and I think the group did a good job. So thank you, everybody. That's the Policy and HR Committee report for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Next, we have the Business Operations and Finance Committee meeting report. Chair Hankins.
Good evening. We did have our meeting earlier tonight at 5, and there were no new surprises. Ms. Zelwood presented the financials, and obviously, well, not obviously, but this time of year is not a big in and out of money, waiting for money, and the bills aren't yet to be paid. So there's not a whole lot to discuss there yet. We had a healthy discussion on numerous subjects, but nothing that needed to come to the board, I don't think. But, so that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hankins. Next up is the legislative update. Mr. Hankins.
Yes, I don't need to kick the ball again, but I have been playing with some ideas on a new twist on this legislative update thing, and I know I haven't reported yet, and other people have reported for me. If I would ask the board president if I would be allowed to present a legislative update in 2 weeks. But I will go through the board on a new little twist on it. But if you just grant me the time. As far as what's going on in the legislature, again, it's a dull time a little bit. Nothing's been decided as far as I know. As far as funding issues, there's some yet to be resolved. So there's nothing huge there, and I'm sure somebody could tell me I'm wrong, but in 2 weeks, if you would grant me 2 weeks to come back with a different report, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly, we look forward to your update on the 16th. Yes.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Thank you so much. Mr. Hankins is wonderful, and I know is very excited about all the legislative happenings. And I'm just wondering, looking ahead, because our budget and everything is going to ramp up. Last year, we were able to, do a kind of a workshop with our legislators. Yeah, I'm saying that right. And I think that it's in policy that we try to do that at least annually. So I'm wondering if we. No, you are fine. Don't even worry about it. Anyway, I was just wondering if maybe we would want to post something. I'd be more than happy to volunteer to work with Mr. Hankins, maybe to workshop through what that could look like and kind of just create some space and time to do that together. If that's something you want to work with Board President Johnson on, I can be available if you'd like.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
I would certainly, and yes, it's in the back on one of my notepads in the back, to do that legislature thing because, and I will come to you. As you know, you and I try to connect on this. We just haven't been able to connect the dots lately. But yes, that is very important. Not to name names, but I've talked to 3 of our current legislators in the last week socially and one not so current anymore. And I just talked to Dr. Kim, but yes, there's a big space available to put us together. And thank you, Mrs. Miller, for reminding me to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Hankins. Next, we have the consent agenda. Typically, there is no separate discussion of the items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item or items will be removed from the general order of business and considered in their normal sequence on the agenda. Are there any board members that would like any items removed from tonight's consent agenda? Seeing none, I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second? Oh, go ahead.
Motion by Brian Nichols, seconded by Megan Miller. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next on the agenda, we have Human Resources, the addendum matrix for the 2025-2026. This is Dr. Garrison, Superintendent, and Mrs. Almendarez, Executive Director of Human Resources. Dr. Garrison?
Thank you, Board President Johnson. We have the addendum matrix that we had worked through with the committee, and we are at this point looking for approval of the addendum matrix. We have just some few changes to the addendum matrix, but overall, the addendum matrix pretty much remained intact over the past month here. One of the things that we will say is that naturally in this space, on the addendum matrix, I just want to repeat this, that all the addendums that you see on the addendum matrix are things that we could do. Naturally, when we don't do them, those fundings or those monies come back to us in some form of savings. And so I want to make sure that I kind of note that in this space. But that is the addendum matrix as it stands, and I'll turn it over to Mrs. Almendarez if there's anything extra to share.
I have nothing else to add. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Hankins?
Yes, I'd like to go back to my own ignorance on last week's vote, I believe it was last week's, on the addendum matrix, and I was laying on my back in pain, but that doesn't matter. And I voted nay. And it was, I erred in judgment, and I would change my nay to a yay, so, and I can't, but I just want to explain that I did it without further clarity on the addendum part for the dance cheer, and that was my fault, and I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Hankins. Ms. Miller?
Thank you. I had 2 questions. I think probably the easier question is, first, I know there were a number of clubs, that needed to be reduced. And as a former club advisor at Beloit, I mean, it's, that hurts, right? But I understandably, this is where we are. So a question that I had is there any reason, is there an existing policy practice or something that I'm not aware of that would prohibit or prevent somebody like a PTO or a parent group sort of crowdfunding or fundraising to support like art clubs, say for instance, in terms of the, see, and I know it gets sticky because it's an HR thing. It's not the same as like fundraising to get a thing. So I was just curious if you could speak to that and if there is a possibility for that, if there's any kind of communication that we could support getting out.
I would definitely love the opportunity to verify our policies, but athletics and activities do fundraisers all the time. It would be a matter of how that would tie into the employees' pay, compensation, and the funding, where it's coming from. So if you can allow me to look into that, I gladly will.
No, absolutely. And I know like on the website, when you go to make a donation, I know you can earmark it for things, but because it's like an employee personnel issue, I just didn't know if there were additional like regulations or something like that. But I figured it would be worth asking because everything that we cut is obviously of great value and it is what it is, but just thought I'd ask. And then my second, I guess, question or clarification is when we last visited this subject matter, it was made clear that there are activities, right, that cheer and dance does during the spring season and that it is a fall, winter, spring season. And so on that basis, I'm just going to put forward to my colleagues, I'm still interested in seeing the spring, I guess, like season included, right, on the matrix. But I feel like we've discussed it pretty thoroughly last time as well. So thank you.
Mrs. Levy?
Thank you. So just a couple things. I am very concerned that cheer and dance have been combined. When the coaches for each of those sports came and clearly explained how those are two different things. And so I'm just wondering what criteria are we using to combine? Is it just that they happen to be the coach for both things, so it was convenient? I can't imagine us combining cross country and soccer and issuing one addendum. So I'm not sure why we would combine two other sports and issue one addendum. And then again, if we are not singling out specific coaches or athletic programs, has it been discussed if the goal is to save money to reduce all of the addendums by a certain percentage that would get us to the same goal? And if that was in fact discussed, is there a reason we're not going in that direction?
Well, I can't speak for the other board members, but I did submit some questions to the administration and got the responses that all board members had access to. I personally did not see in the information they shared back with us any proof that dance and cheer are actually two distinct different sports. Looking at how other districts such as Janesville, Clinton and some other area districts have their dance or cheer or POMs, they are clearly two different sports with two different teams and two different sets of coaches and assistant coaches. So that's why I am in support of having it as one combined sport. If they come back with further information or clarity explaining exactly how they are two different sports, I might be able to support that. To my knowledge, that their performance, it's during the fall season and during the winter season. Any other questions?
No, just to be clear, I am very comfortable with the information that both coaches came and brought. And as I brought up at the last meeting, their large spring fundraiser, which does the HBCU tour, which is an academic purpose that is funded through the members of this athletics, which I think is critically important. I haven't seen criteria as to why we would combine these two seasons. And if it's out of convenience that two people are teaching both sports, the bottom line is this is absolutely not something that I support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Levy. Yes, we are trying to save money. That's what this district needs to be, one of the things we need to be focused on. As everybody is well aware, in the past 3 years, we've had 4 failed referenda, and this is, where we are. The coaches, if they wish to continue doing their spring activity, I'm not stopping them from doing it. We just don't have the money to support everything that they're doing within the sports activity addendum matrix.
No, and thank you so much for being clear. And if I could just get that question answered, were conversations had about reducing all addendums by a certain percentage before we got to a place where we're combining sports and could be where students are missing out for something that is pretty well populated with student participants? Was that discussion had? And if yes, is there a reason we didn't move in that direction, or at least that was the recommendation?
So there wasn't a percentage, but we have been working over the past 2 years with both AD, past and present, as well as our building administrators, and identifying opportunities where we can reduce some of our costs. So the least participated upon activities or different criteria. So as you can see from what I submitted, the lengthy one, not the condensed version, there are a lot of activities that a lot of students have participated in the past that have been eliminated. So this is not specifically about cheer and dance. This is about reducing a significant amount of money, and we actually calculated how much money we would be saving by eliminating the activities and the combination of dance and cheer. So I hope that helps to answer. Like, we're continuously looking at ways that we can reduce, and I do believe that there were a lot of responses that were provided to the board. Even in the high school page, dance and cheer is one group. If you look at the athletics drop-down menu, dance and cheer are together. And so it's very difficult to support two different teams when there's only one team picture for the two, on top of a lot of other questions that came up. And I do believe very strongly that both Regina and both coaches do an amazing job for our students. Nobody's challenging that, but as we're looking at what we need to cut back on, that is where we landed with that particular those particular sport.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? If none, I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed 2025-26 addendum matrix for athletics, activities, and clubs.
So moved.
Second.
Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Certainly. We have a motion by Brian Nichols, a second by Tom Hankins. Any discussion? Mrs. Shope, when you're ready.
Juan Romero,
Aye.
Joanne Rue,
Aye.
Megan Miller,
Nay?
Brian Nichols,
Aye.
Tom Hankins,
Aye.
Amy Levy,
Nay.
and Tia Johnson.
Aye.
Motion carried 5-2.
Thank you. Next on tonight's agenda is the HR Committee Employment Recommendations, Exhibit A. Are there any open session questions regarding Exhibit A? Are there any closed session questions regarding Exhibit A? I would entertain a motion to approve Exhibit A.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Megan Miller, seconded by Joanne Rue.
I would like to offer an amendment.
Mrs. Levy?
By all means.
Thank you so much. My amendment is to approve employee recommendations A minus the dean positions. And the reason I ask that is because I'm able to vote for one thing, but I am not able to support the dean positions as we have structured it. So as a courtesy, if we could just have a motion to separate those, I'd appreciate it.
I'm fine with it. Ms. Rue, are you okay with that? All right, so then I'll amend my motion, if that's okay, or do you want us to vote it down? Okay. I'll amend the motion to approve Exhibit A minus the dean positions.
A motion
Second.
by Megan Miller, seconded by Joanne Rue, to approve the Exhibit A minus the dean positions. Any questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 6-1.
May I make a motion to approve the dean positions on Exhibit A?
Certainly.
Second.
Second to approve dean positions by Megan Miller, seconded by Brian Nichols. Any discussion? Go ahead, Mrs. Levy.
Thank you. I'll be brief. So just for the record, I don't think it's appropriate for the board to single out the dean position and then cap the amount that an employee can make. I think this is detrimental and harmful to our veteran teachers, especially those who have accumulated several credentials, which we want our teaching staff to do. To ask them to move into potentially a dean position at less money, I think is inappropriate. I also don't support the fact that there was a name on the August 11th employee recommendations that we were supposed to deal with today that is not included on this employee rec. So for both of those reasons and probably a couple others, I am not able to support this at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we have a motion by Megan Miller, seconded by Brian Nichols, to approve the dean positions. All in favor?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Sure thing. Mrs. Schultz?
Yes. Amy Levy?
Nay.
Tom Hankins?
Aye.
Brian Nichols?
Aye.
Megan Miller?
Aye.
Joanne Rue?
Aye.
Juan Romero?
Aye.
And Tia Johnson.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-1.
Thank you. Now we are at item 8D, the specific employees matter. This will need a motion to go into closed session. A motion may be made and a vote taken to convene the Board of Education into closed session pursuant to Section 19.85, Parent 1, Parent C of the Wisconsin State Statutes relative to considering specific personnel and compensation recommendations, and Section 19.85, Parent 1, Parent G, conferring with legal counsel who is rendering oral or written advice. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Brian Nichols, seconded by Juan Romero. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Hankins?
Just a question, and I see the reason it's not an open tenured employee requested leave of absence. Is that what we're looking at? Why we're going into closed session on this? We already approved it in the prior motion. Her name was on the list.
No, that is not why we are going into closed session. If you scroll further down, you should see more.
Okay.
Mrs. Schultz, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Juan Romero?
Aye.
Joanne Rue?
Aye.
Megan Miller?
Aye.
Brian Nichols?
Aye.
Tom Hankins?
Aye.
Amy Levy?
Aye.
Tia Johnson?
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you, Mrs. Schultz. The Board of Education may reconvene to public session in order to take any action, if necessary, on items discussed in closed session. Thank you. Have a good night.